all of us in this topic of love of Godhead. So I'd like to begin now. So today we are introducing the new chapter, but the theme has already been started in the previous two sessions. And as we all know, in this particular book that we are studying together, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, based on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada has compiled 5 major discussions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had with 5 different personalities, quite important personalities. And Srila Prabhupada has compiled their dialogues in an elaborate way in this particular book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And as we saw, these 5 personalities are Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Prakashananda Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and at the end, now today, Ramananda Rai. So Ramananda Rai, his personality has been introduced, I believe, in the previous 2 classes, where we began the discussions for chapter 27 and 28. His meeting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai, is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is acting as a very big governor of the particular area where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was visiting. We saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on the South India Yatra, Pada Yatra, by foot. He was traveling and he came to a place called Vidyanagar, and it is understood to be today's somewhere placed in close to Andhra Pradesh. And it is on the bank of Godavari River. And we heard the description of how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramananda Rai, they come together for the first time, they meet in their lives, and how they recognize each other to be closely connected to each other, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. And Ramananda Rai, even though he was the governor for that area, he was a highly learned person, a great Pandit, but at the same time, he was also known as a great scholar in the topics of devotion. Internally, the same Ramananda Rai is considered to be Srimati Vishakha Devi, who is the close associate of Srimati Radharani. So we saw the descriptions of how they met with each other, showing the ecstatic symptoms of their spiritual identity and meeting on that spiritual level, identifying each other in their original nature. So that was very heart-melting description. And in this way, they decided to continue their discussion on a very personal level. And the reason was that Ramananda Rai was going to speak at the request of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the most esoteric meaning of love of God. And that was not meant for open public discussion, because these topics are not easily understood. And Srila Prabhupada also, in one of the purports in this chapter, he's discouraging from discussing in a large public forum the topic of pure love of Krishna, which is the topic for today's discussion. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also in a secluded place, meeting with Ramananda Roy and saying the questions and asking the questions. And Ramananda Roy is asked to answer them based upon the scriptures. So it's a very, very interesting dialogue. And I would like to share a little PowerPoint. So I have only compiled a couple of slides because, it's not like an elaborate description that I'm writing in the PowerPoints, but just to recap a few things here and there. So the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, further talks with Ramananda Roy. And today's discussion is based upon Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially Madhya Leela, chapter 8. And more specifically, today's discussion will start from verse 74. So if anyone wants to go into more details after the class, here's the reference where you can open Chaitanya Charitamrita and look at Madhya Leela, chapter 8, 74 onwards. And so as I said, the initial question of Mahaprabhu, if everybody should remember what was the question, because the whole discussion is based upon the initial question that Mahaprabhu places in front of Ramananda Rai, and then Ramananda Rai answers one by one. So we covered some of the answers that Ramananda Rai already gave in response to Mahaprabhu's the main question. And the question was, please quote some of the verses from the scripture about the ultimate goal of human life. That is what Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai. What is the ultimate goal of human life? And in the previous two chapters, we saw that Ramananda Rai starts with responding on a very, very general level, a general level which is applicable to the entire society of humans, where there is no necessarily any beginning of devotional love for Krishna, devotional understanding of Krishna. So he starts with Varna Ashrama. So following the regulative principles of Varna and Ashrama, which is the prescribed duties for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, is the ultimate goal of human life. That's what he mentions. And I hope I can read some of these verses where he responds with the help of scripture, because see, Mahaprabhu asks that you reference the scriptures and then only you explain to me. You don't explain your own ideas. So Ramananda Rai also very strictly went according to the scripture while responding to Mahaprabhu's question. And the first response we saw last time, that he mentioned Varna Ashrama, where he said the very famous verse from Vishnu Puran. He said, Varnashrama achara vata purushena para puman Vishnu aradyate pantha nanyat tad tosha karanam. Means the best ultimate goal of human life is the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna and Ashrama. And there is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So every time, in the first four responses that Ramananda Rai gives, every time Mahaprabhu mentions that Eho Bahya, Aage kah ara, which means every time he says this is external. Bahya means external. And Aage kah ara means say something more. Go on, because I'm not satisfied with your answer, because your answer is very external. And as I said before, this external answer mostly attracts general people who are very sincere, who want to do some progress in spiritual life, but they are not sure about Krishna Prem. So for them, this external answer sometimes is the best, because they can actually follow it and actually progress themselves gradually. So, but Mahaprabhu rejects it. He says, "Eho Bahya, this is external. Go on." And then Ramananda Rai understands his mood, and he says, "Oh, the everything offered to Krishna. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that." Yat karoshi yadashnasi, that verse number 927, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, that offer all the results of your activities to Krishna. And Mahaprabhu says, Eho Bahya, this is also external. Then Ramananda Rai says that Sarva Dharman Parityajamam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, means even give up the occupational duties and surrender to Krishna. That is the ultimate goal of life. And still, Mahaprabhu says, Eho Bahya, I do not accept it. This is Bahya, this is external, this is superficial. Please go on. And then we saw last time that how Ramananda Rai replied next time, or in the next response, that devotional service mixed with empiric knowledge, or in other words, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, is the best. And for that, he gives a reference from Bhagavad Gita, I think, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, Nashochiti Nakangshati. But Mahaprabhu is not satisfied even with this answer. And so Jnana Mishra Bhakti is rejected. And so Ramananda Rai proceeds. He goes more deeper and deeper. And now he says Jnana Shunya Bhakti. He says pure devotional service without the touch of any speculative knowledge. That is the best. And there Mahaprabhu agrees. He says, Eho hi, I agree, this is all right, but still, I'm not satisfied with just one answer. Please go on if you know more. So basically, today we will see that this pure devotional service without any other motive, and that has also been explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. So it says Jnana Shunya Bhakti. There is no other motive other than pure devotional service. And that is something Mahaprabhu agreed in principle with Ramananda Rai, because he said, Eho hai, this is all right, go on. So now um, Ramananda Rai is turning towards Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti means love of God, love of Krishna. And especially today's, the name of the today's chapter is Pure Love for Krishna, Prema Bhakti. And that Prema Bhakti is ecstatic love for the Lord. And Mahaprabhu agrees at the end that this is Sarva Sadhya Sara. This is the essence of all perfection. And how is that Prema Bhakti? It is spontaneous loving service. It is not necessarily bound by rules and regulations. It is not, it follows rules and regulations, but it is not limited to rules and regulations, which are very much external. So this Prema Bhakti is a lot of internal journey of the Jiva. And in our case, since we are practicing sadhana bhakti, we are trying to understand and also trying to practice prema bhakti as much as we can with the help of sadhana bhakti. Because sadhana bhakti, external rules and regulations, we are following the Guru's orders. Srila Prabhupada has given us this devotional service program, chanting the holy names of Krishna, minimum 16 rounds, reading the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and association of devotees in the temple or online like this. So this is our sadhana bhakti package that is given to us, model that is given to us. And while following this model, we are going to learn something about what does it feel like when we do prema bhakti. What does it mean when you do pure devotional service without any motive? And which when we live our regular lives, how can we have that tinge of prema bhakti in our hearts, which will be spontaneous? And that we are trying. But the response of Ramananda Rai was that if not pure devotional service mixed with anything, then the pure devotional service, which is prema bhakti, is the ultimate perfection of ultimate goal of human life. What Mahaprabhu asks is, what is the ultimate goal of human life? So that he says prema bhakti. Now, interestingly, last time we saw the very last point was that Ramananda Rai is going now to describe this prema bhakti in different levels of consciousness. And he began with the Dasya bhav. He said the master and servant relationship is the uttam type of prema bhakti. So today we will continue with our discussion, moving on to the deeper and deeper levels or layers of this prema bhakti beyond the dasya rasa. And I prepared this chart because it will be very easy to discuss. But now let's go back to our chapter and start reading, because this was just a recap. And as I mentioned, actually from verse 74 onwards in the 8th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can learn these things. But in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, we will see where we left off last time. And I will, share with you that particular chapter from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Once, please bear with me, because I will try to stop sharing first. Yeah, I stopped sharing, right? And now I share again. The only thing I have to figure out, where can I find uh, my, oh my God, this is crazy. Oof. I have opened all these sessions, but I can't figure out how do you reach over there.
What are you trying to do, Mataji?
I have opened all these sessions for teachings of Lord Chaitanya, but I can't figure it out where they are. And this is not
Okay.
my computer, so I'm using Prabhu's computer. So should I reopen, just reopen all of them, maybe? Bear with me. Okay, so we have here, I'm going to share with you in just a moment. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya and chapter 29. And then hopefully I'll be able to share with you. So, as I mentioned, this was just a recap. So now let's start reading it. And I would love if somebody would like to volunteer reading it.
I would be happy to read, Mataji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Chapter 29, Pure Love of Krishna. Encouraged by Lord Chaitanya to proceed further, Ramananda Rai said that the fraternal relationship with the Lord Krishna is still higher transcendental position. The reason of Ramananda Rai said that this is because when the relationship with the Krishna increases in affection, the mood of fear and the consciousness of the superiority of the Supreme Lord diminish. At this point, the mood of faithfulness increases, and this faithfulness is called friendship. In this friendly relationship, there is a sense of equality between Lord Krishna and his friend. Can
Okay.
I go ahead to read or
Yes,
we stop?
because this was a short paragraph, so please continue.
In this regard, Ramananda Rai quoted a nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10, Canto 12, Canto 10, 12.11, which Sukdev Goswami spoke while describing Lord Krishna lunch with his friend in the forest. The Lord Krishna and his friend had gone to the forest with the cows to play, and it is said in this verse that the boys who accompanied Krishna enjoyed transcendental friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is considered to be impersonal Brahman by great sages. The Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotee in the mood of servitude, and an ordinary human being by common man.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? We can continue reading and then we discuss, or we go paragraph by paragraph discussion.
Paragraphs will be better, Mataji. So that
Paragraph by, what do you suggest, Mataji?
paragraph will be better, so that way.
So do you think like we read the paragraph, we talk about it and then go to the next paragraph, or you want to read all of them together and then discuss?
Why don't we read? Why don't we discuss the paragraph by paragraph? That would be
Okay,
better.
got it. So as we saw in these first two paragraphs, the earlier Dasya mood, which is explained by Ramananda Rai, now he's moving on to the rasa of friendship, which is Sakhya ras. And there is a progression. And what is the progression about? The progression is about moving from the feeling of awe and reverence, respect and fear, which is felt by the servant, or which is felt by the devotee who's serving, who's loving the Lord in the mood of servant. From that, we are moving to a relationship which is marked with intimacy. And that intimacy is actually, it is said that even in the Dasyaras, there's intimacy, but now that intimacy is further added with confidence in relationship. So as you can see here, it says this relationship, the reason Ramananda Rai said this is because when the relationship with Krishna increases in affection, the mood of fear and the consciousness of superiority diminish. So the mood of fear and respect, which is there in the Dasya Ras, it decreases, and rather the mood of affection, love increases when somebody becomes friends with Krishna. And at this time, there is also a mood of faithfulness, or we can say a mood of confidence in the relationship, or faith in the relationship increases. And in this friendly relationship, there is a sense of equality, because in the earlier rasa we saw the mood was that I am inferior, Krishna is superior, and that's why I am his servant and I'll always serve him as my master. So there is a inferior and superior feeling. But here, becoming friends with Krishna, and we all have that experience when we have our friends, mostly same age friends, and sometimes friends from our childhood, sometimes friends from our college, and we always have that sense of easiness with them. Even though we meet them after 10 years, 15 years, we still remember each other as being very close friends, and we have that openness, that freedom. And that exactly is felt when even we do friendship with Krishna, or the gopas who are actually doing friendships with Krishna, they have this sense of equality. Oh, Krishna is mine, Krishna is my friend. And they mention mostly the gopa friends who used to go to play with Krishna. And I think that's the particular verse that Ramananda is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, where we all know this verse because there's a beautiful painting that has been done where Krishna is sitting in the middle, and he has this little amount of dahi, yogurt rice in his hand, and his hands are very tiny, and all his gopa friends, they are also tiny, same as Krishna's age, and they're all sitting around Krishna, and they're joking, they're exchanging food and having a lot of fun. And the cows are playing, but the boys are accompanying Krishna, and they're enjoying friendship with Krishna. And this friendship is even envied by great sages who want to relate with Krishna, but they don't know how. So this is the mood that we experience here, and we'll talk about it later on again after we finish this. So let's go to the next level of rasa that Ramananda Rai is going to introduce now. So somebody please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya appreciated this statement very much, yet still he said, "You can go even further." Being so requested, Ramananda Raya then stated that the parental relationship with Krishna is a still higher transcendental position. When the friendly attitude toward Krishna increases in affection, it develops into the relationship found between parents and their son. Regarding this, Ramananda Raya quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.46, wherein Maharaja Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami about the magnitude of righteous activity performed by Yasoda, the mother of Krishna, enabling her to be called mother by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to have him suck her breasts. Then Ramananda quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.9.20, in which it is stated thus: Yasoda, the wife of the cowherd Nanda, received such mercy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead that it is beyond comparison even to the mercy received by Brahma, the first created living being, or by Lord Shiva, or even by the goddess of fortune Lakshmi, who is always situated on the chest of Lord Vishnu.
Okay, thank you. So in this paragraph, Ramananda introduces the next level, the next layer of bhav, or the pure love with Krishna. And that is Vatsalya bhav, or the parental relationships, where Krishna is the child and the devotee is the parent. And we all know Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are the best example for this parental love that's expressed by them towards Krishna. And because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I mentioned before, he said, yes, this is great. He accepts the explanation of Sakhya ras, or friendship, the rasa of friendship. But he says there's something more. There's something more towards, this is perfect, but there's something more perfect. So that's how he encourages Ramananda Rai to talk more. And then Ramananda Rai says, okay, parental relationship with Krishna is still higher transcendental position. And why is it higher? Because now the friendship, the mood of intimacy, the mood of equality, the mood of competition or challenging, which was there between the Gopas and Krishna, now that has taken place more by affection, loving affection, where there is a sense that I need to take care of Krishna because I am the parent and Krishna is my child. So I need to make sure that my child is well protected, well taken care of. So that sense of welfare is there. And also a sense of anxiety is there, that if I don't take care of Krishna, then he will suffer. So when that kind of mood increases, that becomes the Vatsalya bhav. And Ramananda Rai, he gives two verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, and they are also mentioned in this main chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, 8th chapter, where this verse says, which is the first verse, 10.8.46, wherein Maharaj Parikshit is telling about Yashoda Maiya. And the translation of this verse is like this. Actually, it's about Nanda Maharaj, and the translation is like this: that what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as its son? And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna call her mother and suck her breasts? So you can see the intimacy which is already there in the earlier rasas, the confidence in relationship that was there in the previous rasa is already there. But in addition to that, now there's an increased affection. And that's why this consciousness, which is going deeper and deeper in Krishna's love, is becoming more and more perfect. So this is how the progression is. And the second verse, which is quoted here, it says that the favor Mother Yashoda obtained from Sri Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, nor even by the goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of how Krishna agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda after she had given up tying to bind Krishna with ropes. So this is another appreciation made by Shukadev Goswami in his narration of the pastimes of Krishna before Parikshit Maharaj. So this is the way in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami is describing the relationship that Yashoda had with Krishna, where she was able to control the child, because that is another aspect in this Vatsalya bhav, that not only I have affection, love, I care for Krishna, and I have anxiety for his welfare, but I also have a sense of control. And Krishna also allows the devotee to take control over him. And that is the beginning of that controlling relationship in this Vatsalya bhav, which will even increase in the next bhav, in the next rasa. So going forward, we will move on, because still Lord Chaitanya is not satisfied and he's asking Ramananda Rai to speak further. So anyone else can read the next paragraph, please. Okay, I will read it. Lord Chaitanya then asked Ramananda Rai to proceed further in order to come to the point of conjugal love. Understanding the mind of Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Rai immediately answered that it was indeed conjugal love with Krishna that constituted the highest relationship. In other words, one's intimate relationship with Krishna develops from an ordinary conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the conception of master and servant. And when this becomes confidential, it develops into friendly relationships. And when this relationship further develops, it becomes parental. And when this develops into the highest point of complete love and affection, it is known as conjugal love with the personality of Godhead. Ramananda Rai then quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which states that the transcendental mode of ecstasy exhibited during the rasa dance between the gopis and Krishna was never relished, even by the goddess of fortune, who is always situated on the chest of the Lord in the spiritual kingdom. And what to speak of the experience of ordinary women? So, the introduction of Madhurya Bhav is in this paragraph, where Ramananda Rai declares that this is the ultimate end, ultimate perfectional end in the loving relationship with Krishna. And there is nothing, and Mahaprabhu also exclaims, saying, this is Uttama, this is the best. And why and how it is the best, we will try to understand and also try to relate with our own lives. So it's what's said here, that first there is intimacy, even though you serve Krishna as a servant, and then there's the equality, the competition, the challenging kind of fun behavior with the friends, and that further we saw it's into affection, it develops into affection. But now what is being said, that this relationship is highest point of complete love and affection. And the example of the gopis is given for explaining this conjugal relationship, because the gopis had unconditional love and affection for Krishna without expecting anything in return. And they were ready to even suffer for millions of lifetimes just for one tiny happiness for Krishna. And we will see how this layer, this last layer, is the essence of all other rasas that we will see after we finish the reading. So I think
Mataji, I'm happy to read if you know.
Yeah, go ahead. This is the last, I think, last but one paragraph.
Ramananda Rai then explained the gradual process by which pure love of Krishna is developed. He pointed out that the relationship a living entity has with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any of the modes of affection is just suitable for him. Still, there are higher and lower relationships. A relationship with the Supreme Lord begins with the master and servant relationship and further develops into friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. One who is situated in his particular relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in the best relationship for him. But when we study these different favors of transcendental taste in a relationship with the Supreme Lord, we can see the neutral stage of realization. Brahma Bhuta is the first stage. That the stage of accepting the Lord as a master and oneself as his servant is better. Then the conception of oneself as the Lord friend is even more developed. That a parental relationship with the Lord is of still superior quality, and that conjugal love is the supreme relationship with the Lord.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so the same thing is repeated here, and how they are progressions, step-by-step progressions, and they are progressions in the consciousness of the devotee while relating with Krishna. But in this particular paragraph, what is pointed out is that there is no competition that, oh, today I am Das, today I am experiencing the Dasya Bhav, but I would like to do something to advance myself into friendship. And then after friendship, I would like to see how I feel when I become a parent of Krishna. So that doesn't happen, because every devotee has their own particular taste. And when they find their particular rasa, they are satisfied in there. And there is, Chaitanya Charitamrita specific verses in the words of Ramananda Rai saying that the devotee gets satisfied in that rasa, and that is the most suitable rasa for that devotee. So there is no competition that I want to go to the highest level, and there is also no sense that the rasas below conjugal are inferior. That is not the case. There is no relative superiority or inferiority in this hierarchy of rasas that we saw. Each rasa has its own position, and the devotee who is practicing that rasa is completely satisfied, because that devotee experiences the perfection of his own happiness in his relationship with Krishna. But if we see from a broader perspective about love of Krishna, then it is explained that still the Madhurya Rasa, which is the conjugal relationship, is the highest. And so in this way, one who is situated in the particular relationship is the best relationship for him or for that devotee. But when we study these different flavors of transcendental taste in relationship, we can see that that there are progressions. Then we see, because we are seeing a bigger picture, and we're trying to understand different relationships that devotees have with Krishna. So when you take a bigger picture, then you see that, oh, these are the different layers and why they are the layers. We'll try to understand with the help of the PowerPoint as to why it is being said that Shanta, which starts, the very first rasa or mellow, the Shanta ras is the lowest. And then there is a progression to Dasya, then progression to Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So there is a progression, but in each category, there is no competition as such. So it's very interesting, kind of, inconceivable. It is there, but not there kind of thing. So we'll try to understand that further after we finish the reading. So there is one more paragraph, I think two more paragraphs you can read. Yeah, actually one more paragraph, and then we can stop the reading and talk a little bit more.
In other words, self-realization with the sense of servitude for the Lord is certainly transcendental.
Mhm.
But when a sense of fraternity is added, the relationship develops. And as the affection increases, this relationship develops into parenthood and conjugal love. Ramananda Rai then quoted a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu 2.538, stating that spiritual affection for the Supreme Lord is transcendental in all cases, but that the individual devotee has a specific aptitude for a particular relationship, and that relationship is more relishable for him than the others.
Yes, exactly. The same point that we spoke is been mentioned here, that each has its own transcendental nature. It's not that on a relative platform they are upper and lower. They're all relationship with Krishna, and since Krishna is absolute, these relationships are also absolute. But at the same time, the individual devotee has a specific rasa, enjoyment, and at the same time, there is a progression, right? And now I think we can stop here reading, except that I would like to just read first 3-4 lines of this paragraph, and then we will keep the rest for tomorrow. So such transcendental relationship with the Supreme Lord cannot be manufactured by the mental concoctions of pseudo devotees. And in this connection, Rupa Goswami had stated in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that devotional service which makes no reference to the Vedic scriptures and which does not follow the principles set forth therein can never be approved. So we'll stop here because we'll just cover this point minimally, and then tomorrow there'll be more discussion. But let's today discuss these gradations. As we were speaking, how and why there are gradations, but at the same time, they're all transcendental. And at the same time, we cannot jump from one rasa to another. So let's talk more on that. And for that, I will share my PowerPoint, because that will be quicker for us to. Did I share? No.
You did share it before.
Okay, now, okay, here. Okay, you can see now, right?
Yes.
So as you can see, I have made this table. So mellow, or the rasa, is the first column, and then the characteristics is the second column, and the third one is gradation and the examples under each category. So if we consider shanta rasa, which is called neutral, in that what happens is that there is a cognizance of love of Godhead. Means the devotee or the living entity who is experiencing shanta rasa is able to understand love of Krishna, and there is an understanding, but at the same time there is no expression of love. And examples that are given as the great sages, the great yogis who practice, they have love of Krishna, they understand it's a pure love for Krishna, but they do not express anything. Similarly, in Vrindavan, the trees and the birds, they completely understand the love of Krishna. Sometimes the birds do express, like the peacocks, they do express their love, but there are other, the trees and the bushes and rivers, they all understand Krishna's pure love. They all feel Krishna's pure love, but they do not express. So this is the limitation of the Shanta Rasa. And when we go to the next level, the Dasya Rasa, or it is called the servitude, as a master and servant relationship, where the intimacy begins, where there is an expression of love and expression of intimacy with Krishna, but that is marked with awe and reverence, because there is a servant who is inferior and the master, who is Krishna, is superior. And the inferior devotee is always wanting to serve Krishna in different ways. And there is a sense of fear, there is a sense of respect for the Lord, because that person wants to be perfect in his service to Krishna. And what if I make a mistake? Because my master is so great that I should not make any mistake. And that's why the fear appears, and the respect for the Lord. And then in this, they also see themselves as inferior to the Lord. And as far as the examples are concerned, it's mentioned that there were gopas like Rakshaka and Patraka, who were servants of Krishna, and they were serving Krishna in the most perfect way, and they were rendering service to Krishna in that. So they were the examples of Dasya. But if we move on to the Sakhyaras, which is friendship, their intimacy is also, the original intimacy is always carried forward, but something is added on to the newly added on to that rasa. So in this case, intimacy is carried forward, but what is added on is the confidence in that relationship with Krishna, because now the awe and reverence, or the fear and the respect, have been replaced with love, and love which is exchange, right, on an equal level. That kind of characteristic it has. So that's why there is a sense of equality. And that's why we see when Krishna plays with gopas, with his gopa friends, there is challenging. They want to wrestle with Krishna, and they want to defeat Krishna. And then they want to have fun with Krishna, defeating Krishna. And that actually happened when Krishna killed Kamsa, and then some of his gopa friends came, and they just defeated Krishna. I mean, before killing Kamsa, actually, the other asuras, they were killed in that assembly. And Kamsa was completely baffled. He was completely bewildered, seeing that, oh, Krishna, that small boy, he killed my big wrestlers, and now his friends are coming and defeating him. So, but that was a great fun for the boys, because this sense of challenging, the sense of competition, and the sweetness of love is there in the Sakhya. And technically that's called Vishrambha, Vishrambhena Seva, Vishramba. And Vishramba means the absence of respectful attitude, because there's no formality. In Dasya, there's a lot of formality, that I am the servant, I need to serve Krishna, is the master. That formality is gone. So that formality has been replaced with love, fun, and some sort of a confidence that, oh, he's my friend and I can do anything. I can express myself in a more free way. Like it doesn't have to be formal. I can be free. And that we all experience in this way, right? We have formal relationships, but when you have a slightly informal relationships, even though we are meeting with somebody who is great businessman, but he's our childhood friend, so we suddenly have a different way of expressing our free love with that person. So similarly, this absence of respectful attitude, which is practiced by Gopa friends with Krishna in this Sakhya Rasa. And then when we move on to Vatsalya Rasa, all of the above are there. The intimacy is there, the love is there, the confidence in relationship is there. But now, instead of equality or challenging or competition, what is now replaced with is the increased affection, love and affection, and a sense of care. Like, I will care for Krishna. If I don't care for Krishna, who will care for him? That kind of feeling that Yashoda Maya had. And also she added the anxiety about Krishna's welfare, which has to be there in the Vatsalya. And as you can see, Krishna also allows her to feel anxiety, for her to feel anxiety for him. He is doing different activities, he's stealing butter, and he's making Yashoda anxious. He's allowing Yashoda to become anxious for Krishna's welfare. So that is the loving exchange in the Vatsalya Rasa with Krishna and Yashoda. And then Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda are the best examples. And we saw these two verses also. We read the translation of these two verses from Srimad Bhagavad Puran, as how where Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya are glorified for their great fortune because of their past pious activities. And their fortune is not even available to great yogis, Mother Lakshmi, nobody. It's not available to anybody else much. And then finally, in the Madhurya Rasa, we have everything as mentioned above. We have intimacy, we have confidence in relationship, we have loving affection. But now there is one additional element. It's called complete freedom of expression. There is no formality at all. There is no inferior superior complex. But there is completely a sense of freedom in that relationship, that I can do anything and everything with Krishna. But at the same time, even if I can become angry with Krishna, I can chastise Krishna. And that's what gopis did. That's what Radharani did. She became angry with Krishna. She chastised Krishna. And all the gopis told Krishna, you go take punishment because you have killed this cow. You killed this asura in the form of a cow. So you have made a big papa. So you go and take some punishment. And they used to make fun of Krishna. And say at the same time, Krishna made fun of them. Krishna used to cheat, make a lot of games with them. We have all these stories where he stole clothes from the gopis. So in this way, there's a complete freedom. There is no at all fear that, oh, what happens if I say and Krishna might not like it, and he may break my relationship. He may go away from me. There's no fear in that way. And one more categorization actually I did. I don't see it here though. Oh, I think, where is that? Anyway, I think I lost that last slide. So I was mentioning in that slide that in this way, the more and more sense of control, is lost. Like Krishna allows the devotee to take control of him more and more. And that's how we see in the case of gopis, is completely controlled by them many times. And that is the sweet relationship between Krishna and these devotees in the Madhurya Rasa. And yeah, I don't have the slide, but I remember now what I wrote. And actually, it has been mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so I can actually directly read it. That where's that? I made a slide. I don't know why it didn't get saved or something. But what they're saying is that I'll read this quickly. In general, love of God is devoid of the intimacy of ownership. In the case of love in servitude, there is a want of confidence. There is a want of increased affection in the fraternal relationship. And even when this affection increases in parental relationship, there is nonetheless a want of complete freedom. However, when one becomes conjugal lover of Krishna, everything lacking in the other relationships is completely manifest. Love of Godhead lacks nothing in the conjugal stage. So the idea is that in the Shantarasa, there is a lack of expression. In the Dasya Rasa, there is a lack of confidence in relationship or closeness or equality. In the Vatsalya Rasa, there is a lack of complete freedom of expression. So in every rasa, which is, in that hierarchy, one item is missing. And then you go to the next level, you get that item. But you move on to the next level of your relationship, and then there's something else is missing. So ultimately, when we keep on going in this hierarchical way, when we reach the Madhurya Rasa, it has been mentioned that in this, everything lacking in the other relationships is completely manifest. And therefore, love of God, which is in the conjugal love, lacks nothing in this stage. The love of God in the conjugal stage lacks nothing. And that's why it's the perfection. And that's how Ramananda Rai is explaining to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what was the original question of Mahaprabhu? That what is the ultimate goal of human life? And Ramananda Rai has reached to this point saying that the ultimate goal of human life is to find relationship with Krishna in the conjugal love. That is the ultimate goal of or ultimate perfection of human life. And this is the progression that the devotee can understand. The devotee can understand this progression, but at the same time, in the spiritual world, when we go back to the spiritual world and when we acquire our own original swarupa, at that time, if we are situated in dasyaras or if we are situated into sakhyaras, then we are completely satisfied. There is no hankering further in the spiritual world for going to madhurya. So in this world, when we are doing sadhana bhakti, we understand these layers. We understand how the consciousness goes deeper and deeper, and how the loving affection goes deeper and deeper. And now the one question that we can discuss quickly, it's already 8 o'clock, is that where do I relate to this in my sadhana bhakti, right? So there could be our different moods we can experience with Krishna. And as far as madhurya or conjugal love is concerned, that's why I read this last paragraph from this teachings of Lord Chaitanya, where now it was warned to people that you do not make a show of this. That is mentioned that this relationship, which is of transcendental nature, it cannot be manufactured by the mental concoction. So this one thing we have to remember, that we cannot make a show by our own mental thoughts that, oh, I have this feeling for Krishna, tomorrow I have that feeling for Krishna, or I would like to exhibit my feeling to other people, how I feel. So those things are to be avoided, so that we will discuss tomorrow in great detail. But at the same time, this is an internal journey. We have been talking that Mahaprabhu is saying bahya hai. He's saying that this is all bahya, this is all external, and he rejects it. And then when it comes to slowly to actual pure love of Krishna, then he accepts, yes, this is okay. So for us, when we are doing our progress in sadhana bhakti, we also have this internal journey. It has nothing to do with what we show in the temple, how much we serve, how much love we show for Krishna. There's no exhibition. It's all about our internal relationship, internal journey of our soul with Krishna. And that's why we can only understand these examples in each category, Arjuna and Krishna as friends, Gopa and Krishna as friends, or Nanda Yashoda, Devaki and Vasudeva as mother and father of Krishna, and then the gopis, even the elderly gopis, or gopis of Krishna's age. All these examples, we just have to understand their mood, understand their complete complete dependence on Krishna in that relationship, complete surrender to Krishna in that relationship, and complete selflessness in their relationship. There's no in ultimate ulterior motive that they practice. Every time their relationship is purer and purer and purer. They do not anticipate anything from Krishna. And Mahaprabhu also says in the last line of Shikshashtakam that if you can kick me out, or you can do anything, you can embrace me, you do whatever with me, but you will remain my prananath. So in that way we can learn from these examples. We can try to experience their mood of relationship with Krishna, and we can understand their purity of their love. And if we try to do this, then our love with Krishna will become purer and purer. Our purification will happen. Our ulterior motives will reduce less to a large extent. And then whenever we are in trouble, we will never say, oh Krishna, I did so much devotion to you, but why you didn't take care of me, why you're giving me this trouble. We will not be able to say that, because we will be developing this pure love. So this is one point I mm, kind of draw from this discussion, which can be relating to our lives and practicing teachings of like Lord Chaitanya. If we want to do it on our level, this could be one aspect to that. So I think I would like to stop here. Also wanted to say Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, and Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Please, if you have any questions, or if you have any clarification, if you would like to add something, or if I did any mistake, please point out, or please share. I would love to. Somebody raised, yeah, Niru Mataji, please go ahead.
Yes, it's a very nice explanation. You made it very clear and easy.
Yeah, thank you.
And in our ISKCON practice, we are practicing like a Das Bhav, right?
Yes.
So
Because Mahaprabhu says that we are servants of Krishna.
So anybody goes above that, or they are
As I
stay
said,
in that level?
No, anybody who goes above that is always internal. It is not external. Externally, if we want to do sadhana bhakti, it's always in the mood of Krishna's servants. And because that Mahaprabhu recommended that, he also exhibited that. But we cannot openly say, oh, I'm in love with Krishna in friendship, or vatsalya, or madhurya. That is something not recommended because of this Kali Yuga. The people will not be pure in their motives, and they call sarjiyas, or they call pseudo devotees. That's why. But internally, of course, as I said, if you have internal development, that's your personal relationship with Krishna. And you know what? The more intimate, even in this world, the more intimate and more intimate relationship we have is with somebody else, we don't announce that in the world. We can always say, oh, he's my friend, he's this and that. But if it's your husband, your mother, father, we don't talk about those things in the right, openly. So same thing with Krishna, you can develop, there's no limit, but we don't speak about that. I mean, you naturally don't want to speak about that relationship. That's the thing. And if somebody speaks, then probably you have to be alert.
So that's why we label as Prabhuji and Mataji, Dasya Bhav, Dasanudas.
Yes. Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktir. Because Mahaprabhu says, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktir Ayatu Kidvai. He never says in the Shikshashtakam, make me, your lover, make me your madhuya. He never says that. So
thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
And anyone else would like to share anything? All right. Doesn't look like anybody has any comments or anything to add. Any of your personal experiences in your sadhana bhakti, anything you would like to say? Or should we stop here? Okay, Niru Mataji, what do you say? Should we stop? Because you are most active.
I guess so, if nobody's responding.
Okay. So
I
I
guess
think, huh?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Anything from your side, please add.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful class. Nice class. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. This is esoteric. It's very powerful, and we should really understand the tattva, the principle of Krishna's love towards his devotees. Sometimes we always think, so, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. We put all our different ways with our self-centric, and I'm that, I'm this, I'm a great devotee. Krishna told me like this. Krishna. Many times devotees ask this kinds of habit, says that, oh, Krishna's desire. I mean, that's one way is good that we have completely, dependent upon him, but we should take it that in a very, proper understanding that we are, Krishna is, how Krishna is reciprocate to his devotees. When we progress, when we take one step, Krishna takes 100 steps towards us. We should always have that feeling of devotion and that service mode and attitude. Always in a very humble position. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealed that unless we have humility, we cannot progress move an inch in devotion. The primary quality of even we cannot even chant properly when we don't have that attitude. It's very important when we understand and learn this pure love of Krishna. What exactly that mean? We should understand that exactly that mean. It's not that we just go and Krishna, oh Krishna, love me, I'm loving you, you love me. It's not that. Even when you take the position of that humility and that humbleness, is also that the ocean of love is there, ocean of surrenderness, ocean of respect, value, and reverence. Everything is there. So in the spirituality, so even if Uddhava was desiring, was a very close, Uddhava was a cousin of Krishna, Uddhava was very close to Krishna, but that same Uddhava was desiring, let me become a grass in the groves of Vrindavan, just be a grass. And yes, he became also a grass in the banks of the that Kunda, that's called Uddhava Kunda, and he became a grass there. But the devotees can see this is Uddhava, and Uddhava continuously speak the glories of Krishna. This is the mood. So when we say love of Krishna, is that the highest, that how we, that service attitude with the humility, that's the highest of all. And that's what is exactly the gopis exhibited. But we may take it in a different ways. That very important to understand that how we can say that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealed that the same dasis of devotees, not even for Krishna. Dasa anudas. Always we have to have that mode of we are there to serve the devotees. What qualification we have that even say that come to that Madhurya Ras, we don't have any qualification at all. Kedu Maharaj goes to Radha Kund Maharaj, just go to the, just walk through the side of Radha Kund. Never even have that desire or intention to go into the water. Or somebody asked Chaitanya Maharaj, why are you not going to Radha Kund? Chaitanya Maharaj mentioned that what quality I have, go to near to Radha Kund even. The devotees' love for Krishna means this is the highest of love that we exhibit. With that humility and humbleness, Krishna sees that. So many examples out there how Krishna sees that. There was a devotee in Juhu temple. So he is a blind. He comes to the temple every day, morning and evening. So one devotee asked, you are blind. You cannot even see the Lord. Why are you coming morning and evening every day? He replied, yes, that's true, I'm blind. But my small efforts, I come here morning and evening and every time I wish to, so that Krishna can see me. It's a very powerful statement. So that's what is we need to. It's not that many times people go and push others and go in front and don't care about anybody else, don't talk nicely or always kind of in the heart, kind of. And it's not love for Krishna. Then we may externally show that, oh, I'm so much in love or bhakti with Krishna, but internally we are kind of always in back. Oh, I'm that, I'm this, I need to do this, and so, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that. Then push everybody else or put down everybody else. Talk. It's not love for Krishna. It's for love for us. One time, many devotees were going with Radhanath Maharaj to the Srirangam temple. There were almost 10,000 devotees. So these all devotees were in everybody wanted to see the Lord and rushing, and somebody was there, and Maharaj was there, and somebody was rushing to go in front row and to see very closely the Lord, so that I'm so and so, I'm so. Maharaj got upset a little bit and said, and told him that you came to this dham to go to hell. So this is always, so we should always have this right understanding and the mood, the humility, and always give the way to others to come to the Krishna consciousness. We should be the instrument to bring everybody together. We should be the or some way or other, Srila says that very humble and humility, that when one person becomes Krishna conscious through this, my mission is successful. Even one person. That's mood. That's the real love for Krishna. That's what is really noticing. So, that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to Jagannath Puri, then Mahaprabhu never goes in front, stand into the back of the Garuda Stambha. But that ecstasy of love, even the stones will melt there. If you go to Jagannath Puri, Garuda Stambha, you can see that the fingerprint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of the ecstasy of that feeling of separation from Krishna. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was like that. Never goes in front and push everybody. No, just come and stand in the back. Somebody is also asked Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, where he says that he came here to have the darshan of the Lord. It's not that I should go in front, but Lord can see me. So with our humility and humbleness and attitude, dear devotees, and we should exhibit that so that Lord can see us. That's our real love. So yeah, that's just wanted to add some points that what is pure love for Krishna means. That surrenderness, our complete surrenderness, our ego, or whatever we have, and put Krishna in the center of our life, everything for Krishna. So yeah, so Dasanu Das, that's Das is very meaningful. It doesn't minimize that from the Madhurya to Valsalya to Sakhya. Is also topmost of all. Okay, just wanted to add some words, Madaji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Anything else? Anybody else? Any other comments? Any reflections that you want to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
I'm sorry, my voice. Don't know if the cold drinks or like ice cream is hurting frequently. Prabhuji, yes. About like today's class, very nice about those bhavas, and then Sakhya Bhav and many others. I do not like recall the exact terms, but it's very nice. And yes, sometimes we get the feeling, sometimes we get the fear, oh no, Krishna is seeing or watching, or sometime like a friendly bhav, Sakhya Bhav. And another thing you mentioned, like we stand in the back and we can see the Lord or Lord can see us. So what happens sometime when everybody is going to the front to see the darshan, and sometime I get the feeling like everybody is going to the front. So should I go to the front also? Like follow the crowd or something like that. So I also go to the front. Means in the beginning we stay in the back or wherever the space is. So that's the mixed kind of understanding. So where do we stand at this point?
I was just generally mentioning that. Yes, I mean, the sense of that is we should not create any disturbances to others, those who are in the front. Suppose the class is going on, right? So suppose we came in the last. We should not disturb others which was going on. Or somebody is already there in the front. What is our etiquette? We should go and stand in the back and then see the Lord. So the meaning of that, why it is mentioned that, because of with our attitude, with our behavior, with our character, how we consider others, how we compassionate to other living entities, with our humility and with our beautiful nature, that so Lord always sees us, and that's where we should be always considerate to other living entities and others. So stand in the back doesn't mean that all okay, go and stand in the back always. No, that if it is we came and is already there are devotees in the front, yes, we should wait and then the queue, and then devotees comes and take darshan, and then when we get an opportunity, we go and take darshan of the Lord. Yes, this is the way that we should always exhibit our wonderful devotee qualities. That's what it is meant for.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else? Otherwise, let's conclude.
All right, Prabhuji, thank you again
Yeah,
for
thank you.
opportunity, and please accept my humble obeisances, all of you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai
thank
Shri
you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Madaji, for a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Let's conclude. Pray together. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhu Patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Vrindaraj Srimad Jai Bhai Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Gaudi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari
Oh, Hari Bol.
Jai. Hare Krishna.